Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I'm outside training. I just got back from the Junior Nationals, and when I say I just got back, well, I'm starting to get healthy, so I'm doing this video. I want to talk a little bit about the three common problems I saw at the Junior Nationals from archers. I'm going to say my state, because I generally don't watch the kids from the other states. I'm focusing on kids from my state at the championships, and things I think you should look for in your archery as common problems that are just come up. So to start off with, I'm going to just talk a little bit about it. So I took away, I was the manager of the state team. And the reason why I wanted to do it is because these kids train really, really hard. They're very dedicated. I've known most of them since they started, and they were so dedicated. I thought they'd do amazing. And I was like, well, I'll go there and see if I can help them, and hopefully they have success. And they did. They had an amazing success, which I'll talk about in another video, but the kids did amazing and they shot personal bests. But I want to just talk about what I do as far as what I saw and the things I pick up. Okay? So the first thing is I'm not going to mention target panic. Okay? So target panic is a thing. It's when kids are struggling, or people are struggling making the shot, and they are struggling aiming at the center of the target. It's a thing. There'll always be kids who struggle, or adults who struggle with this, especially at a major championship. I'm not going to talk about it, right? So that's the first thing. I'm not going to talk about target panic, because at a championship, at a competition, you can't fix it. It's just, you have to do your best, and you have to work on this after the event. In my view, okay? You have to do your best, and we had a few kids who were struggling with that. So that's one issue I'm not going to deal with. It's just, that's one of the things that is a common problem. So the three common problems that I saw at the championships that could be fixed, and things that are things you should watch out for if you're coaching people or managing a team. This is what I saw, and this is my observation through my thing. So the first point is dropping your arm. So basically what's happening when they drop their arm, instead of aiming at the target and being like a statue, the junior or the archer will drop their arm to see where the arrow is going at the target, and it will normally be a result of a low arrow. So when I stand behind an archer and I've got binoculars, or I'm watching the front arm to see if it's been held up after the shot. Now, if you're a recurve archer and you're doing this, twirling your bow, look, that's fine. That's not dropping your arm. It's if the arm drops after the shot, and you'll often get low arrows. Low arrows are far more common than high arrows, which are due to a pressure point change in here, or a shoulder position change here, right? So low arrows could also be a change in shoulder position. So I did that the other day. I did a group, perfect group, all lows, because my shoulder was slightly high. Okay, but dropping your bow arm, a common thing, especially with kids, archers who are not at the elite level. So like, these are kids in the state team, they're shooting great, but for the ones who are a little bit down, and when I say a little bit down, like good archers, but not at the elite archery level, dropping your arm will be a very common thing, and part of it will be because they're anticipating the shot. So with a compound, they're punching the release aid, so doing that, often be dropping their arm, because I'll be like, I've made the shot, drop the arm. Because basically, if you're an elite level, you're generally not dropping your arm, okay? Because your scores will be down, okay? So dropping the arm, a thing to watch for. It's a common issue. The second thing I look for is back pressure. So basically pulling your arm. So now with a compounder, what you're looking for is that release to come back, and if there's tension in the back, the release aid will move back. The hand will move back. If the hand just sits there like that, there's no pressure here on the back, and often what happens is they're coming forward when they're making the shot, because there's no tension in the back. So that's for a compound archer. You're looking for the straight breakaway. The hand won't come out to the side. It should come straight back. Common issue to look for, and all you say to the person is you keep pulling on that release aid. You keep pulling, and then you make the shot. Now for a recurve archer who does not have back tension, their hand will come out to the side like this, and they'll shoot arrows out to the left if they're a right-handed archer. So very common problems, and all you say is you want to keep this hand close to your face. So when it comes out to the side, bring it in. And often the hand, instead of being aligned with the arrow, the hand will be more out to the side like that, so they don't have the pressure in their back, okay, for a recurve archer. So that's the second thing I look for. I'm looking for a good release. So, and when people have good releases, I say it. I give people positive feedback. It is very important that the archer feels good about their shots and they get positive reinforcement, because if they get positive reinforcement, they're more likely to do the good thing, and if they know someone's watching them and they're giving them positive reinforcement, they're more likely to do the same thing again. Okay, so positive reinforcement. I tend not to be on negative reinforcement side, I'm on the positive reinforcement side. Okay, and the last number one thing that juniors do, and I say juniors at the nationals do, is do not change their sights. I cannot say how many times I'm standing behind with binoculars watching their arrows, and these kids are doing these great amazing groups to the left, to the right, high, low, or left. I cannot say how many times. Now I have one junior, and I'm going to say who won. So he's national champion, so he goes, well, Stephen, what do you know? He was doing this great little group, like this, all the arrows touching, amazing, much better than I shoot, right? And they're on the 10-9 line. So right on the left of the 10 and 9. Now, that is the worst spot to group your arrows, because if you move your hand away from your face, the arrows are going to shoot to the left. They shoot to the right if you're going to come off slow, but more likely the arrow is going to shoot to the left because you're going to pull your hand away from your face, okay? Now, so his first group, he shoots 29, okay? I'm going to move your sights. He looks at me. Look, I don't know if he moved his sight the first time. So I stand behind him for the second time, because he goes, look, that was a 29. I'm like, I don't care. How many arrows were to the right-hand side of the middle? And the answer was none. They were all to the left. So I think he amuses me by maybe doing a click on his sight, one click, right? So he shoots again. Same deal. It might have been a 29 or a 28. All the arrows to the left. I'm like, where are those arrows? All to the left. Good score, but all to the left. Now, I'm going to say in this competition, he won the event, so he won the national championship by either 1 or 2 points. Now, he may have won if he did not move his sight. Completely possible, but I'm going to say he would have lost, because 1 or 2 points and your arrows are just sitting there touching that line, you are going to shoot some 9s where if you move your sight to the middle, they're going to be 10s, okay? I have one boy in the state, all his arrows are to the left. So I walk up behind his target, and what's nice, if you're shooting clean target face, you can see the group. So he comes back from the line. I was like, here's my binoculars. So I give him my binoculars. I'm like, what can you see? He looks at me. He's a bit confused. I'm like, what can you see on your target? I don't know, he says. And I'm like, every one of your arrows is to the left-hand side of the target. He goes, oh, but that's me. I'm doing this. I'm not denying the fact that you're doing this. What I'm saying is each one of your arrows is to the left of the target. When you stop doing this, then we'll move your sights again. But we'll move that group that you have in the middle. So while you're doing this, the arrows are going in the middle. Right? When you start doing good releases, they will go to the right, and then you can change your sights again. Right? So anyway, this young archer, I'm going to say he was probably shooting reds and blues, right? So I stood behind him, he's shooting reds and blues. To the left, he looks at me, I'm like this. The arrows are still there. Move them, right? So he's moving his sights. Eventually, I think it took 2 to 3 ends, he was shooting golds. He was shooting 10s and 9s, right? And I thought this is interesting. So he was like, oh, like you're shooting pretty good, right? He's shooting in the middle. The arrows are still coming out like this, right? They're coming out sideways because he's still pulling the string away from his face, right? So the release wasn't good, but they're shooting in the middle because he's consistent. And he finished with a score, I'm going to get it wrong, but let's say of 260 out of 300. And I said a few years ago that would win you the state championship in men. So even though, don't practice as much as some of these other kids here, it's still pretty good. And you've got so much room for improvement. You've got so much upside. You should be happy with that. And you've got so much upside. So I cannot stress enough moving your sights in the middle of the target. I hear it all the time that an archer would say to me, I didn't move my sights enough. I didn't move them quick enough. And this is from a more experienced archer, especially on the younger kids. The younger kids will be very reluctant to move their sights, right? They'll shoot these little groups off in the red, and it'll be like, they just sit there twanging the arrows. They're not thinking about moving their sights. So it's very important if you're managing a junior team to go to the young ones first, because they're less likely to move their sights. The good experienced archers, the elite archers are more likely to move their sights because they're more experienced, they shoot good. But start with the younger ones first because they're the ones who are less likely and they need more help. Start with them and then gradually work your way up the shooting line to the older ones, and see how it goes. So the number one issue, moving your sights. I cannot stress it enough. It always happens. Whenever I shoot a field round, someone doesn't set their sight correctly and shoots over or misses an arrow. It's more than common. It's more than common that people don't have their sights correct. It's the number one issue, in my view. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.